Oh boy. The last and final reason I've come to loathe Rolex is every mother. Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Okay, I'm discussing something that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, or maybe even piss some of you off. Honestly, I have a real affection for Rolex. At the same time, there's a reality around the brand that I feel like a lot of people either fail to understand or just outright ignore. Today, I'm going to get into why your Rolex isn't that special. Let's dive into the first reason I have some distaste for Rolex. Guys, Rolex watches are not scarce. Rolex watches are not scarce. Rolex produces about 1.2 million watches a year. Compare that to even Tag Heuer, which produces around 750 per year. You'll hear over and over again, tags are overproduced, they flood the market with pieces, they make too many watches to hold value, etc. I mean, Rolex makes almost double what Tag makes. Now, how does that make any sense? Compare this to Patek at only 50,000 pieces a year, AP at about 35,000 a year, or Alanga at only 5,000 a year. Yet, a lot of you all fall for the perception versus the reality. See, pre-pandemic, you could walk into a Rolex AD and buy most any watch that you wanted. On top of that, you could possibly even buy it at a discount. So what changed? Well, people stopped traveling, the government infused cash to keep society afloat, and they started buying collectibles and luxury goods. Coupled with supply chain issues and the increased demand, the prices for many luxury items skyrocketed, including Rolex. Flippers entered the market. Once someone smells money, a way to turn a profit, then they grab a hold of it and take full advantage of the marketplace. This is because it was, and has certainly become, the most recognizable watch brand on the planet. Hell, there's more of these watches than any other brand. See, the false demand created by flippers and dealers creates a sense of scarcity that doesn't actually exist. Most of the public doesn't understand this, and the false belief that they're scarce is perpetuated. It's just not the truth. 1.2 million watches a year. So something else that really turns me off is that the customer service experience is awful. I go in, I want to purchase, say, a black sub, a three-hand date watch for 10 or 11 grand. I have to get kind of interrogated or pass some secret test, all to get added to a fairy tale list. I get treated as if I'm undeserving, so I can spend $10,000. Now, I realize this is not an inexpensive timepiece. I'm not trying to downplay its cost, but what I am pointing out is that I don't enjoy being made to feel like I'm not worthy when in fact I'm their actual customer. I'm not a flipper, I can afford any of their pieces, and I'm a true watch collector. Yet, I walk into an AD and I'm made to feel that I somehow need to earn their respect to spend my money. It's a horrible feeling, and frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. They all look the same. Literally, almost every Rolex is the same two cases. It's the Sub and GMT Master 2, and they look the same. The Date Just, Sky Dweller are pretty much exactly the same. It's just boring, and while they look pleasing, their design language is not. When we talk about something exciting from Rolex, we talk about dial color. Oh my God, seriously? That's exciting. This brand is so effing boring that we get horned up over a dial color change. Is the finish of a Rolex nice? Yeah, it is. I mean, I won't argue that, but it ends there. No open caseback display to see the movement, and they're machine brushed and polished. I mean, that isn't impressive by any means. Omega, Breitling, Tag, they all finish their pieces to the same quality. A lot of their pieces show off their movements that are beautifully finished. Oh, and by the way, usually for less money too. Rolex is very basic for the most part. I know, it's a tool watch, but they have the Sky Dweller. Guys, the Sky Dweller is hideous first off, and the dial layout is busy, messy, and ugly. To the point of a tool watch, it's an $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 timepiece. Is it really a tool watch at that point? No. It's a luxury timepiece that doesn't hold up to the luxury side versus dollars spent. A tool watch is a Hamilton, a Zen, a Seiko. Those are tool watches. All better and more diverse design language for about $1,500 or less. So you ask, well, what can I get in way of complications for $15K or less then? Look at Longines Master Collection Annual Calendar, a Breitling Premier Chronograph Moon Phase, a Mont Blanc Heritage Chronometry Annual Calendar, a Panamatic Lunar with Dual Wheel Big Date and Moon Phase, among a slew of other watches. But Jason, Rolex has a rich history, and they were the first dive watch, the first GMT, the first automatic movement. It's all a lie. A Swiss watchmaker, Harwood, patented the first automatic wristwatch movement in 1923. Blancpain introduced the first waterproof case and dive watch in 1953 with the 50 Fathoms, and they also produced the first wristwatch with a date function in 1926, predating the date just by several years. Oh, and the dual time zone, aka GMT, yeah, that was also made by someone else first. Glycine introduced the first watch with dual time zone function in 1953, before Rolex. I think Rolex has a rich history, but when we pull the covers back, it's not as impressive as their marketing dollars make it seem. Oh boy, the last and final reason I've come to loathe Rolex is every motherfucker has one. It just stops being special when you turn around and everyone has a Datejust or a Submariner or Batman. Sure, there are a few uncommon pieces, but when everyone has your watch, it just doesn't feel unique anymore. Go to any watch show and you'll see 40 Paul Newman Daytonas. The Rolex watch that is most coveted by enthusiasts and collectors. Is it really rare when there are 40 of them at one show? I could list examples forever around this, but for the sake and length of this video, I think that you get my point without having to do all of that. My problem with Rolex is most people with a Rolex watch on their wrist are not watch enthusiasts or collectors. Of course, some are, myself included, but it's rare. I challenge you to strike up a conversation with the next stranger you see with a Rolex on. I can almost guarantee they'll look at you crazy with a blank stare when you try to have a conversation around watches, its history, power reserve, in-house movements, or a micro rotor, or anything at all interesting about the hobby. They have a Rolex because of the hype or the cachet. At this point, Rolex is not a highly respected watch company. It's just a brand now. You're buying a watch double what you should pay for, just look at Tudor, to fund executive paychecks and all the advertising dollars they spend. Sure, that's part of pricing for any brand, but not close to the level of Rolex. And I'm here to say, Rolex, it's not good enough anymore. Let me know what you think. Am I way off base here? Do you agree with me? What points do you want to add to my Rolex temper tantrum? Comment down below. Let's get some dialogue going and share your thoughts. If there's enough interest, I might do a follow-up video based on your comments. I'll see you in the next one.